Ever wonder why so many people get US geography facts wrong? It's easy to see why, with all the misconceptions floating around. From confusing state sizes to mixing city locations, these errors often stem from myths, outdated information, and even our assumptions. But don't worry, we're here to set the record straight and unveil the actual details of America's landscape. Let's dive in. 1. Did you know Kentucky isn't entirely south of Indiana? It's true. A small part of Indiana, called the Horseshoe Bend, dips south of Kentucky. It's a fun twist on our usual north-south assumptions about state borders. 2. Think Texas is the border champion? Think again. Tennessee and Missouri each share borders with 8 states, more than any other. These central hubs connect to states all around, making them the ultimate geography connectors in the US. 3. Here's another fun fact and a misconception told right. The Delaware and Pennsylvania border isn't a straight line. It's marked by the 12-mile circle, a perfectly curved arc centered on Newcastle, Delaware. This border stands out on the map. 4. Surprise. Texas might be big, but Alaska takes the crown for the most significant state by land area. Alaska is so vast that it could fit Texas inside it more than twice, so when it comes to size, the last frontier truly reigns supreme. 5. Think Rhode Island has the smallest population? Think again. Wyoming holds that title. Despite its small land area, Rhode Island is packed with people, whereas Wyoming's wide open spaces mean fewer residents. It's a fun twist on state size and population. 6. Guess what? California isn't the second largest state by land area. Texas is. While California is massive and diverse, Texas edges it out, boasting sprawling landscapes stretching far and wide. It's another fascinating fact about the Lone Star State. 7. Do you think that New Mexico is part of Mexico? You are wrong. New Mexico is a U.S. state with a rich history and culture. Despite its name, it's been part of the United States since 1912. It's a fascinating blend of American and Southwestern heritage. 8. Have you heard that Kansas is flatter than a pancake? It's a fun myth, but science says otherwise. Studies show Kansas has gently rolling hills and varied terrain, proving it's more diverse than a pancake. Geography can be full of surprises. 9. Have you ever thought Nebraska was coastal? It's not. Despite misconceptions, Nebraska is landlocked and surrounded by other states. Its central location means it's far from any ocean, but rich in prairies and farmlands, giving it a unique charm all its own. 10. Surprised to learn New York City isn't the capital of New York? The actual capital is Albany, nestled upstate. While NYC is the bustling metropolis everyone knows, Albany plays a crucial role in state government. Who knew? 11. Los Angeles might be the heart of California's entertainment industry, but it's not the state capital. That honor goes to Sacramento. This historic city in Northern California is where all the state's legislative action happens. Lights, camera, politics. 12. Austin is the capital of Texas, not Houston. Known for its vibrant music scene and tech innovation, Austin is the political hub of Texas, blending government action with a lively cultural atmosphere. It's the heart of the Lone Star State. 13. Los Angeles may be famous for Hollywood, but California's government resides in Sacramento. Sacramento is rich in history and political significance as the state capital, steering the Golden State's policies and laws. It's a key player in California's story. 14. Here's another fact about the capital. Seattle might be Washington's largest and most well-known city, but Olympia is the state capital. In the Pacific Northwest, Olympia is where Washington's legislative activities take place, offering a charming small-town vibe with great governmental importance. 15. Here's a mind-bender. Chicago is closer to Canada than Springfield, Illinois' state capital. While Springfield is about 200 miles south, the Canadian border is only around 50 miles from Chicago. It's a surprising twist showing how close international borders can be. 16. Did you know Miami is closer to the Bahamas than Georgia? That's right. The Bahamas are just 50 miles off Miami's coast, while the Georgia state line is over 300 miles away. Miami's tropical vibe makes perfect sense with the Bahamas as its neighbor. 17. Here's another geography quirk. Detroit, a major U.S. city, is north of Windsor, Ontario in Canada. Thanks to how the Detroit River curves, you must travel south to cross from Canada into the U.S. It's a fascinating flip in the usual north-south border expectation. 18. El Paso, Texas is surprisingly closer to Los Angeles than Houston. El Paso and Los Angeles are about 700 miles apart, while Houston is over 750 miles away. This fact highlights how vast Texas is, with cities spread out across its wide open spaces. 19. Baltimore is often thought to be overshadowed by nearby cities like Washington, D.C., but it is, in fact, the largest city in Maryland by population. Despite its proximity to other major metropolitan areas, Baltimore is the state's most populous city. 20. Many assume St. Louis, with its iconic Gateway Arch, is Missouri's capital, but the honor goes to Jefferson City. Nestled along the Missouri River, Jefferson City is a smaller, quieter town that serves as the political heart of the state. It's a capital with charm. 21. The mighty Mississippi might be the most famous, but it's not the longest river in the U.S. The Missouri River takes that title. Stretching over 2,300 miles, the Missouri River winds through the heartland, surpassing the Mississippi in length by a significant margin. 22. Despite its name, the the Colorado River doesn't spend most of its journey in Colorado. It starts in the Rockies but quickly flows into Utah and Arizona, carving out the Grand Canyon. The river's iconic journey is primarily outside of its namesake state, adding a twist to geography. 23. Contrary to popular belief, the Hudson River isn't the longest in New York, but the Mohawk River is. The Mohawk River stretches further across the state, winding through upstate New York before joining the Hudson. It's a lesser-known but impressive geographical fact. 24. Unlike the other Great Lakes, Lake Michigan is unique because it's entirely within the United States. The other 4 Great Lakes share borders with Canada, but Lake Michigan is all-American. With its shores touching several Midwestern states, it's truly a national treasure. 25. The Great Lakes are a powerhouse of fresh water, containing a staggering 84% of North America's fresh surface water. This vast water system is crucial for the environment, the economy, and the millions of people who rely on it. It's a vital resource that's genuinely immense. 26. Here's another fact. Despite its size, Lake Erie isn't the largest Great Lake by volume. That honor goes to Lake Superior. Superior holds more water than all the other Great Lakes combined, making it the largest by volume and one of the most significant freshwater lakes in the world. 27. The St. Lawrence River is the vital waterway that carries water from the Great Lakes to the Atlantic Ocean. This river is a critical part of the Great Lakes ecosystem, providing an essential route for commercial shipping and the natural water flow. 28. While the Potomac River is often associated with Virginia, it runs through Washington, D.C., forming part of its iconic landscape. The river's course through the nation's capital is a defining feature, offering scenic views and playing a pivotal role in D.C.'s geography. 29. The Columbia River isn't just a mighty waterway. It also forms much of the natural border between Oregon and Washington. This mighty river is a defining feature of the Pacific Northwest, providing a geographic boundary and a crucial resource for the region. 30. The Rio Grande is one of the most significant rivers in the U.S., forming a large portion of the border between Texas and Mexico. This river has played a critical role in the borderland's history, culture, and geography, marking the division between the two nations. 31. Think Mount Rainier is the tallest peak in the contiguous U.S.? Think again. It is Mount Whitney in California, standing at a towering 14,505 feet. While Rainier is impressive, Whitney takes the crown as the highest point in the lower 48 states. 32. Denali, formerly known as Mount McKinley, is the king of North American peaks, soaring to 2,310 feet. But here's the catch. It's not in the contiguous U.S. Denali stands majestically in Alaska, making it the tallest mountain on the entire continent. 33. Pikes Peak might be famous, but it's not the highest in the Rockies. It is Mount Elbert in Colorado, reaching 14,440 feet. While Pikes Peak draws the crowds, Mount Elbert quietly reigns supreme as the tallest point in the Rocky Mountain range. 34. Here's a fun twist. The Appalachian Mountains are way older than the Rockies. The Appalachians have been around for hundreds of millions of years before the Rockies started rising. These ancient hills might not be as tall, but they have history. 35. Have you ever heard of the Blue Ridge Mountains? They're not a separate range, but part of the Appalachian Mountains. This stunning stretch of peaks is known for its blue-tinted vistas, forming a beautiful portion of the more extensive, older Appalachian Range. 36. Contrary to what some might think, the Sierra Nevada isn't a single mountain. It's a whole range. This majestic chain of peaks runs through California, offering everything from towering granite cliffs to scenic alpine lakes. It's a breathtaking region, not just one peak. 37. The Cascades are more than just mountains. They're a volcanic range. Stretching from British Columbia to California, this range includes active volcanoes like Mount St. Helens and Mount Rainier. So, when you think of the Cascades, picture fiery peaks, not just regular mountains. 38. The Ozarks might look like mountains, but are technically a highland region. Located in Missouri, Arkansas, and beyond, the Ozarks feature rolling hills and plateaus, but lack the towering peaks of actual mountain ranges. Still, they offer plenty of natural beauty and adventure. 39. New England isn't a state. It's a region, comprising 6 states: Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. New England is known for its rich history and picturesque landscapes. Despite common misconceptions, New England is a distinct region, not a singular state. 40. Connecticut proudly belongs to New England, but New York doesn't cut. While they're neighbors, New York is part of the Mid-Atlantic region. This often surprises people who assume New York's proximity to Connecticut means it's part of New England, but it's not. 41. Here's another quirky fact you might not know. Maine is the only state in New England that borders just one other state, New Hampshire. The rest of Maine's boundaries are coastline and the Canadian border, making it uniquely positioned in the northeastern corner of the U.S. 42. Contrary to what some believe, the Midwest doesn't encompass all states west of the Mississippi River. The Midwest is a specific region that includes states like Illinois, Ohio, and Iowa, but not western states like Montana or Wyoming. It's a more defined area than many realize. 43. Moving on, we have another fact here. Although Ohio is geographically close to the East Coast, it's officially part of the Midwest. This classification often surprises people, but Ohio's cultural and historical historical ties align more with the Midwest, making it a critical state in this central U.S. region. 44. Great Plains and the Midwest are often confused but differ. The Great Plains stretch from Texas to Canada, encompassing parts of the Midwest and extending into the West. So, while they overlap, they represent different geographic areas. 45. When thinking of the South, states like Maryland and Delaware might not come to mind, but they're often included in the broader definition of the region. These states share cultural and historical ties with the South, though they're sometimes overlooked in the Southern narrative. 46. The Pacific Northwest isn't just Washington and Oregon. It also includes parts of Northern California. This region is known for its lush forests and rugged coastlines, stretching from the Canadian border down to the northern reaches of California, blending the best of the West Coast. 47. The Southwest is more than just Texas. It also includes states like Arizona and New Mexico. This region is defined by its desert landscapes, unique cultures, and historical ties to the Old West, creating a distinct and diverse area within the U.S. 48. Do you think Arizona holds the heat record? Not quite. Death Valley in California is the hottest place in the U.S. and, in fact, the world, with temperatures soaring over 130 degrees Fahrenheit. This desert landscape is the ultimate hotspot, leaving Arizona in the much cooler dust. 49. Hawaii isn't just sunshine and beaches. It gets snow too. The island's highest peaks, like Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa, are often dusted with snow in the winter, so you can surf in the morning and hit the snowy slopes in the afternoon. How cool is that? 50. Florida may be famous for its beaches, but Alaska reigns supreme regarding coastline. With over 6,600 miles of stunning, rugged coast, Alaska has more shoreline than all the other U.S. states combined. It's a coast lover's paradise, though maybe a bit chillier. With these exciting facts many of you might not know, we come to the end of our video. If you liked it, here's another one. Check this out. Thanks for watching Earth Basics. See you in the next video.